Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today is going to be an exciting video. I'm happy to bring to you today, and it is, as you can tell by the title, all about my block. So this is on my, as you all know, and I'll scoot over this way, this is my Make 9 for 2019. 5 of those items are all based on my block, and so yeah, the pants are done. And so let me get into how it went. So many of you know that I attended Andrea's Soda Fit here on YouTube. She's here in the Texas area, Houston, Texas area, and so she was offering a pants fitting class. And so through the class, you're able to get the perfect fit for your pants. And so while I cannot go into a lot of detail about the class because it was a paid for class, and we were definitely asked to be careful about sharing proprietary information, I will just share with you some of the highlights and key things that helped in this whole process in getting my pants block completed. And so I will leave a link to Andrea's website down below in the description box. So make sure you look for that. I believe she has another class such as this coming up soon in the Houston area. I can't recall if she's also doing, I think she also offers it virtually as well. So if you're not in the Houston area, perhaps you can get with her that way that I am working on. Let me just say, one of the things I did not anticipate, or I guess I didn't think about, and so that is, and I forgot to say what I'm wearing. I am wearing my Dartmouth top and my modified Madison cardigan from Style Sew Me Patterns. And so, and my hair is kind of a mess, so that's why I have my hat on. But anyway, one of the things I underestimated about the block, like I'm so excited about doing all these various blocks and everything, but the one thing I did not count on or really think about is that I need, as I'm creating my slopers and my blocks, there is a bit of a disconnect from me in how to sew them, if that makes sense. So, you know, with patterns, if you're used to sewing with patterns and different things of that nature, you have the pattern, you have the instructions, and you follow the instructions, unless it's a pattern you're pretty much familiar with. For the most part, you're following the instructions on how to put this piece together, how to put that piece together, and blah, blah, blah. Well, with the class, with putting our blocks together, one of the things that we did do initially before the class started is that Andrea took all of our measurements, and so she was able to generate a block for us based off of that. And so once we got the block, we were then able to create our muslin from that. And so creating the muslin, because it has the extension for the fly front, I had no idea how to sew. I had no idea how to sew it. I'm like, wait a minute, how do you sew these pants? And so the class, I will say, doesn't go into things like how to put in a zipper and how to put together your waistband and how to add pockets. It doesn't cover any of that. It's all about the fit. It's just the fit of the block. That's it. It doesn't cover the other stuff. And so I would think initially, if you're thinking about doing that type of class, is that, especially if it's in person, is that, or anticipate maybe if you take it online, a class online, is that be at least familiar with how to sew certain things, at least the basics. I'm not saying you got to be perfect or anything like that, but at least the basics. And I've only sewn 2 pair of pants, proper pants that had zippers in them. And so, but it was kind of far apart, and it was a little while ago since I did that. So, and then my jeans, of course. So it had been a while, and so I really didn't know how to put the sew up the zipper, put the zipper in there or anything like that. So what I end up doing, I tried a new way, which is a very good way, but it didn't work for me. And I was like, why am I struggling? So here's a tip. Don't struggle. Just do what you've done before that you know that worked. And so for me to insert a front fly, I followed my trusty Cashmerette the same way I put in for the jeans. Obviously you don't have to worry about the some of the like jean part that's necessary for jeans for dress slacks, but yeah. So I end up following that method to get it right, because I put zippers in on on the one pair. I made two pairs I have for you to show, but it came out wonky, and I was like, why am I struggling? Just do what I'm used to doing. So anyway, that's a little bit of a sidebar. So once we got our muslin completed, and the class it was 4 of us in the class, 4 ladies, and so we were able to sew up our muslin, come in without the waistband, so we didn't attach the waistband at all throughout the entire process. So we were able to come back into the class, have our muslin on, and I will say, I don't think I mentioned this, the class was over, I want to say it was over a 4-week period. And so in between those classes, we may have had some homework or little things that we needed to work on. But anyway, back to once the muslin was completed, that's when the fun really began, because we were able to see, Andrea helped us see where maybe we needed to add it some room, because one of the things I never realized, even in the pants, not my jeans so much, but my other dress slacks that I had sewn, that the side seams need to go straight down and not curve or anything like that, but it needs to go straight down. Had no, that type of thing just never occurred to me. And so knowing where to move and shift your seams after you've had your muslin on, and marking everything, that was really good. And the weird thing was, once we were able to mark everything and figured out how everything was supposed to fit, then we did what is called rendering the pattern. And so we were able to take our muslin apart with all the markings, and I'll pop up a picture here, hopefully you'll be able to see it, but that shows mine, where everything was kind of taped down and things were marked, and then we're able to lay that on some new tracing paper, fresh tracing paper, and then be able to render our changes back onto our pattern paper, which is this. So this is my final one. You can't see that because it's clear, but you can see this is the front piece. And we used 1/2 inch seam allowances, and we got our notches marked. Hopefully you can see that, our grain line. And so we were able to go ahead, Andrea helped us render our pattern, which means taking those changes and adjustments we made from our muslin and making our pattern from it. And then from there, we were able to sew up our pant. And so that's what happened. And I had my first pair of pants I did make. This class, I started this class back in January, and we were done the week before I left for Vegas. But I didn't have time to finish the pants at that time, but I finished these last month, and so in February. And so the first pair I finished, and I will pop up video because I tried to stand up in here in front of the computer, and it just wasn't looking too good. So you'll see video here shortly, but let me just show you the first pair I finished were the pink pants. And so these pants, this is a woven. It's kind of lightweight. I will say it probably could stand to be lined. And Erica Bunker, if you follow her, I'm sure you do, on Instagram, she has actually a class that she offers for how to line dress slacks. If I ever want to line some pants, I will follow her. I will do her class. But because I'm down in Texas and it's warm here, and I really don't like stuff on my skin other than this, if that makes sense. I don't know that I would line pants, but never say never. I'm not saying never, but it is a lightweight woven. Turned out really nice. The fit is really good. You'll be able to see it in the video. And so what I did was So I was initially going to do, let me see if I can show you. I was initially going to do a button here, and I had the buttons and everything. So here are the buttons I had, matched perfectly. All this was in my stash. I didn't go buy any fabric. But I decided to do the hook and eye instead. And so that was nice. And I also, because I wanted it to be clean on the inside, see how the inside, can you see that? And you can still see my marking a little bit. But see how that's clean on the inside? I wanted it clean on the inside, and my intention was to do bias binding around the waistband. And here's the bias. I did the bias binding around the fly front. Can you see that? But as I'm just sewing along and using this, I ran out. So I didn't have enough to go all the way around the waistband like I wanted to. So finished it. I finished the waistband opposite the way I would normally finish it. So I sewed it together on the inside and then flipped it on the outside. And then I just, what you can see, I didn't do a very good job of this at all. In certain parts. Certain parts is magnificent. And other parts is like, okay, my hand stitching all the way around on the outside. And so but no one will see that, and I'm fine with it because I will wear my top the way you'll see it in the video. And so the drape is really nice. The seams go straight up and down on the sides, and so which I really like. And yeah, I was so excited. I was like, what? And so my fly, oh, let me show you my fly front. um it turned out really good. Like I said, I had unpicked this twice because I was trying a different method. I was like, oh, let me try this. Since it's not jeans, I was like, would the same method work if it's not jeans? And so sure enough, it does. But for whatever reason, I wasn't thinking it would. And so here it is. See that? Hopefully you can see that. And so turned out perfect. So the same method, and like I said, I use bias binding around the fly there. The same method I use for sewing up my jeans, I use for doing my front fly on these. And so love that. And like I said, you'll be seeing videos of me actually in the pants. And so once I finished the pants, right, I was like, okay, because I struggled a little bit with the waistband because we didn't go over waistbands in the class. Andrea did help me draft my waistband pieces, which are here. And so one of the things I did do, the mistake I did make, because it is a contour waistband, I actually, and I did not realize this after it was completely done, I sewed the waistband on upside down. So the contoured part is up is in the wrong direction, so it pokes out at the top a little bit in the back. And so, but okay. So that was my error. I just put it on upside down. But as I had finished these pants, I was like, okay, I'm losing weight because I found that as I was going through the class, I had to keep taking in different parts because I'm losing inches. And I'll talk about the weight loss and sewing in a future video, so look out for that. But I was like, okay, my goal was to make 3 pair of pants based off these off this block. But it turned out that wasn't necessarily the case. I only did 2, and the second pair I made out of, this is a crepe, but it has a slight stretch to it. And I did put in the zipper on these and the waistband. But I soon realized, because I still had to keep taking it in, I was like, you know what? Take the zipper out, which I did. I took the zipper completely out, sewed it all the way up, and I went to Joann Fabrics and bought some of this, which is a nice soft elastic. The band is really nice. As you can see, it's silver. It comes in silver. I've seen it in pink and gold. In the back is a nice plush. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, you can see that back is a nice plush. So it's very soft. And so what I decided to do was instead of doing the waistband, doing the zipper, and these end up, I can't wear them because they'll be falling off of me soon. I just decided to do this because as I lose weight, because this is elastic, it'll, it'll still continue to fit and have nice movement until it just starts looking like clown pants. And then that's a whole nother story. But so yeah, but I still want to make that third pair. And what I wanted was these kind of the pink pair to be kind of look more maybe they can go with a suit jacket or something. This can go with a suit jacket too, but it's in between that nice office casual. And then I wanted some casual pants made out of chambray with deep pockets on the front and pockets on the sides, and then a welt pocket in the back. Yes, I wanted to do it all. But I haven't found the fabric that I'm looking for. And so I still want to do it. But what's going to end up happening is how I'll end up closing the gap on I'll make another muslin probably of my, of this block, because I know I'm going to have to make changes and then render a new pattern off of that. But if it's too much of a gap, I'll have to start fresh from the beginning, which I am comfortable with doing, because I will say some of the other resources that I have used in helping me with my pants and giving me different ideas is, if you follow Kim Davy here on YouTube, she is phenomenal with blocks and everything. And she shows you how to do so much. So she's also on here, as well as on Blueprint. You have Susie Furr, her pants sloper class, very good. Someone else as an option to watch. But also, and Andrea pointed her out to me. I don't know if I had remembered if I had saw her class or not, but at any rate, Kathy Ruddy on Blueprint. Her class is called One Pattern, Many Looks for Pants. And so those are some other options available. I also have the Fit for Real People book. Actually, let me just show you. Okay, I also have Pants Fit for Real People book. I have that one, and I also have, I also have Singer's Sewing Pants That Fit book. And so I've referenced both of these books. And so and plus the courses and different things like that. So there are options for putting pants blocks together. And so yeah, so I will have another pair of pants in the future. But again, as I'm losing the inches, that's the tricky part with something like pants. It's the inches, and then then they'll end up being too big in the matter of time, as opposed to if you're making dresses and different things like that, or skirts, you can still get away with wearing them, even if you happen to lose a lot of inches, depending on how your weight loss is going. So yeah, that is all I have. So yeah, that's all I have. Just look down at my notes here. So yeah, I am very excited about continuing to play with my blocks and perfect them going forward. This is the first one I finished. I still have my jacket, my pants, I think dress. There's a couple others. But yeah, very, 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 very excited about this whole process and just, learning. And at least with blocks, here's the thing, while you may have had patterns and everything that tell you to do things in certain steps, you all know that as you get used to sewing certain things or sewing a certain pattern, you don't necessarily go in that order anymore. That's necessarily in the instructions, but at least with your block, you can really make up your own instructions and kind of go in the order that makes sense and that's comfortable for you, right? There is no end all be all to this whole sewing journey. We all have different ways that we like to do things. And so that's the beauty of sewing. You don't have to follow a certain thing or a certain person the way they do them. You can mash up different ideas, different resources to make it comfortable for you. And so I am very excited about it. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with about my pants block. I'm very happy with it and will continue to play with it going forward. So stay tuned for my next video. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, thumbs up this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And stay tuned next week for the next video. We will see you next week, everybody, and have a blessed week. Bye.